Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Chapter 56. Gotham is a very strange city. Even during the day, the sky is often covered with gray clouds. The whole city seemed a little lifeless. Jason glanced at the sky and complained. Dive into the laboratory again. His research work has come to an end. He will soon be able to create a complete version of the single-dimensional energy manipulator. Therefore, the whole person became a little excited. Jason had just been in the mood for a while. I saw Alfred helping Bruce Wayne walk into the laboratory. Something is very wrong with Bruce Wayne. He didn't even take off his bat armor. It took Alfred's support to reluctantly walk in. Jason frowned when he saw this. Quickly walked up and lifted Bruce Wayne. As soon as he touched Bruce Wayne's suit, Jason's hands felt cold. It seems that Bruce Wayne is not wearing a carbon fiber armor, but a piece of ice. Feeling the piercing coldness of the ninja, Jason helped Bruce Wayne lie down on the scanning equipment. Then he quickly shook his hands and breathed a sigh of relief. Grandpa Alfred, what's going on? Jason was confused. It's only October now, still at the tail end of summer. The temperature in Gotham City is still not low, and some people even wear short sleeves on the streets. Bruce Wayne is covered in ice. It's like a trip to the North Pole. This made him very strange. Have no idea. Alfred shook his head. The master went out last night, and I only found him in the manor this morning. It seemed like the whole person had lost consciousness. Jason heard this and glanced at Bruce Wayne. Needless to say, Bruce Wayne must have been doing some good deeds again last night. Then we encountered some difficult opponent. Don't be beaten like this. However, I don't know who took action. Bruce Wayne is like frozen meat taken out of the refrigerator. 80% of the entire body was covered in frostbite. The body temperature is also very low. If an ordinary person had injuries like his, he would have died 10,000 times. I looked at the test report given by Skynet. Jason sighed deeply. Bruce Wayne can survive. It's truly a miracle. Skynet, activate life support mode. Inject nutrient solution. Raise the temperature slowly. Jason spoke slowly. Now he doesn't dare touch Bruce Wayne. Because of the low temperature, the armor on his body was frozen with his skin. Take it off now. I'm afraid the skin will peel off a layer. We can only wait for the temperature to rise slowly. Master, is he okay? Alfred asked worriedly. As he spoke, he also took off the heavy gloves he used to roast the turkey. Jason looked at the corner of his mouth and twitched. Sure enough, Ginger is still spicy. He is still too young. It's okay. Alfred wants it too, don't worry. It'll be fine soon. Jason shook his head and said something to Alfred. Then he spoke again. Skynet, Comrade Dr. Connors, come here. Human trials of Extremis have come to an end. It has been confirmed that its function is indeed very powerful. And there are no side effects. Connors is now back to health. Jason just wanted Connors to come over and give Bruce Wayne a shot. By then this injury will naturally not be a problem. At Jason's call, Dr. Connors hurried over soon. Mr. Jason, what happened? Connors walked in hurriedly and asked. Jason asked directly without answering. Did you bring the desperate potion? Jason was afraid that Extremis' name would cause controversy or be discovered. He simply renamed the virus. Changed to desperate potion. And it is divided into several versions. The ultimate version is physical fitness that can heal injuries and strengthen. Normally, you can only restore a broken limb once, and the energy will be exhausted. Extremis died immediately due to the inability to transcribe. These are the results of Dr. Connors' research. I brought the most advanced version of the medicine pavilion. Who wants to use it? Connors looked at the two able-bodied guys asking questions in front of him in surprise. Jason pointed with his finger. Connors noticed that there was a person lying on the instrument next to him. He looked carefully at this strange man in black clothes and armor. Connors was suddenly startled. Batman. Then he looked at Jason with a shocked face, wanting an answer. Jason had no intention of explaining anything to Dr. Connors. Please give me flowers. Bruce Wayne doesn't necessarily want his identity revealed. Don't be too surprised, Dr. Connors. The identity of the patient is not important, the main thing is the treatment, isn't it? Jason said, giving Dr. Connors a meaningful look. Dr. Connors was shocked. He seemed to have discovered something extraordinary. You won't be silenced, right? Connors said tremblingly. That's right, Mr. Jason, I will take care of you now. With that said, he opened the portable cryogenic box next to him. He took out the desperate potion in a test tube. Then he put the light yellow desperate potion on the machine. The medicine was injected into Bruce Wayne's body along with the nutrient solution. After finishing, Dr. Connors touched the cold sweat on his forehead. With such a simple action, he seemed to have done something big. Okay, Mr. Jason, we just need to wait for the potion to take effect. Thank you, Dr. Connors. Please take a look here and monitor the patient's physical condition. Jason said with a smile. Connors wanted to say something. He is a scientist, not a caregiver. However, he still chose from the bottom of his heart without saying anything, and quietly looked at the data on the machine. More than half an hour passed. Dr. Connors breathed a sigh of relief. Mr. Jason, it's no problem. The patient's physical signs have basically stabilized. Just wait until he wakes up. Connors wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and said. Okay, thank you, doctor. You go back to the laboratory first. And doctor, you don't have to be so nervous at all. I won't kill anyone and silence them. Jason said speechlessly. I heard the words, kill and silence. Dr. Connors shuddered. He said with a wry smile on his face. I know, Erdow. Jason looked at Dr. Cons and was speechless. These intellectuals are too timid. I also like to think blindly. He is not a terrorist, he kills people and silences them at every turn. Seeing Connors' nervous look, Jason couldn't bear it. Okay, Dr. Connors, go back and study it quickly. Don't think blindly. When Nas heard this, he felt like he was being pardoned and quickly left the country. Chapter 57. Jason looked at Dr. Connors, who left in a hurry. The expression on his face was unusually speechless. He turned to look at Alfred and asked, Grandpa Alfred, am I scary? Alfred smiled when he heard this. Young master, you are not angry and have authority. It is a sign of the temperament of a superior. Jason nodded when he heard this. No wonder Alfred has been the butler of the Wayne family for so many years. Look at how well people talk. If Jason didn't have a strong idea in his heart, he would really believe it. Jason was enjoying Alfred's full compliment service. There was a groan from the one next to me. Well. Alfred heard the sound and quickly moved forward. Master, how do you feel? He asked, looking at Bruce Wayne lying with concern. After a while, Bruce Wayne finally wakes up. It feels pretty good now. Bruce Wayne sat up from his seat and moved his body. Accidentally, the scanner was hit to pieces. Alarms sounded throughout the laboratory. Bruce Wayne looked at Jason awkwardly. Jason, what's going on? It's okay, it's normal. Jason looked at the data in his hand and said. Killian is that weakling. After being injected with the medicine of extremis, everyone can gain strength beyond ordinary people. Pure strength can even compete with steel armor. Bruce Wayne is a guy who has developed his body to its human extreme. The increase in strength is naturally more obvious. It is completely normal to be temporarily unable to control your power to make a sudden payment. Squeezing the muscles on Bruce Wayne's body. Let's take a look at the basic constants measured by machines. Jason nodded. It's really no problem. This is a trivial side effect of the therapeutic agent. Just train for a while and it will be fine. Now we should talk about what's going on, right? Who made you like this? Jason looked at Bruce Wayne strangely. To be honest, in all of Gotham City, Batman's combat capabilities are top-notch. There are only a few super-ables in Gotham who are very powerful. Like Joker, Two-Face, Harley Quinn, etc., most of the physical fitness is not as good as Bruce Wayne. They all commit crimes based on their IQ. Nothing like New York City next door. The villains in it generally have low IQs, but are powerful. Like Lizard Man, Hulk, Juggernaut and the like. They are all examples of reckless men. If these people were in Gotham City, they would have beaten Batman to death tens of thousands of times. But there are few such reckless men in Gotham City. So he's weird. Who made Bruce Wayne look like this? It's Frozen Man. Bruce Wayne moved his arms carefully and said with a wry smile. Frozen Man. Jason quickly searched through his memory. Soon a villain came to the rescue. Frozen Man is a cryogenic scientist. The research is on human cryogenic freezing. It was just because of an accident that his body cells changed. He can only survive at low temperatures. So he built himself a suit of armor. Various freezing weapons were also invented. start making waves in Gotham City. He seemed to remember. This frozen man is a psychopath. He believes that everything in the world is most beautiful when frozen. How did Bruce Wayne get into trouble with him? How did you end up with Frozen Man? Jason asked a little gossipy. Although Frozen Man is a psycho. But he's not like that lunatic Joker who goes around wreaking havoc. He prefers to have sex with his frozen wife. Rarely come out to cause trouble. Jason was a little surprised how Bruce Wayne could fight with him. When Bruce Wayne heard him ask this, a wry smile appeared on his face. Last night, I went to patrol the economic zone. Then I happened to see him killing people, so I rushed to stop him. Who would have thought? The rest of the words were too shameful for Bruce Wayne to say. Then you were really unlucky. Jason looked at Bruce Wayne with sympathy on his face. Why is Bruce Wayne so unlucky? Because he actually rarely goes to the economic zone. The economic zone is actually a relatively prosperous part of Gotham City. A large part of the police force is here to ensure the safety here. Bruce Wayne spends most of his time in downtown. Justice is maintained in this mixed bag. I went to the economic zone by chance. I didn't expect to meet such a ruthless character. Suffered a big loss. Jason could only say that he was unlucky. Saw Jason say this. Bruce Wayne could only shake his head helplessly. Even if he didn't meet him last night, he would meet Frozen Man sooner or later. Let a super ability criminal do his own crime in Gotham City. It's just too dangerous. Just last night, at least a dozen ordinary people were affected. According to his situation, I'm afraid these people are already in trouble. Thinking of this, Bruce Wayne eagerly wanted to rush out and bring Frozen Man to justice. Jason saw what he was thinking in Bruce Wayne's eyes. Don't even think about it. What you need most right now is rest. The effects of hypothermia are not that easy to recover from. Besides, you still need to get used to the surge in power. It's not a smart thing to do right now. But Bruce Wayne still wanted to refute what Jason said. But Jason spoke first. No, but if you don't want to be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, you'd better listen to me. Jason interrupted Bruce Wayne directly. It's not that serious though. But it also has a certain impact. What if Bruce Wayne ran out to fight again? In addition, Extremis consumes a lot of energy to transform the body. I'm afraid Bruce Wayne is really going to play GG. Batman's name became famous. Bruce Wayne sighed deeply when he heard Jason's words. Sit back together. He knew Jason was doing it for his own good. It's just that he really doesn't worry about the safety of Gotham City. Jason felt helpless when he saw Bruce Wayne's appearance. Batman lowered his head and looked a little pitiful. Jason was helpless. He could only speak. Okay, you can save me for training. At worst, I'll help you catch Frozen Man tonight. Bruce Wayne's eyes lit up when he heard this. Then I'll bother you, Jason. Jason looked at Bruce Wayne, whose face changed instantly. My heart keeps wailing. This Bruce Wayne is not honest either. Don't show any mercy to your son. Chapter 58. Since he promised to help Bruce Wayne solve the Frozen Man problem, Jason won't push the envelope. But before that, he still has some preparation work to do. First, it took him 2 days to complete the subdimensional space manipulator. Look at the silver white ring on your index finger. Jason couldn't help but sigh deeply. Technology is also a very magical force. No wonder the man in the white coat called this thing the Supreme Lord of the Rings. Now it seems, although it is not far away. What is the difference between this ability to suddenly emit super low temperatures and magic? With a sigh, Jason put down the ring to observe himself. Skynet, bring up yesterday's surveillance. Jason said something to Skynet. The economic zone is a relatively prosperous area of Gotham. To ensure the safety here, there is still a lot of security on the block. In addition, yesterday Bruce Wayne and Frozen Man made a big fuss. Half the block was cordoned off. Dozens of stores have been directly transformed into ice and snow parks. Naturally, a lot of video material was left behind. Before dealing with Frozen Man, he naturally had to study these video materials carefully. Only by knowing yourself and the enemy can you fight without danger. Soon enough video materials were collected on the internet. Looking at that number, I'm afraid it's even more complete than the police station's information. 363. After Jason got the information, he began to observe it carefully. The armor on Frozen Man is not pretty. It looks like a biochemical suit used for biological control. A device on the face similar to a gas mask should be used for breathing. Carrying a flamethrower-like device on his back. It's just that white mist is sprayed out. These white gases have extremely low temperatures. Spray it onto an object and a layer of ice will be created directly. The human body even turns directly into an ice sculpture. In Jason's opinion, such a temperature is at least nearly 100 degrees below zero. Moreover, these mists seem to have another mystery. To know, heat conduction takes time. Even if you are temporarily exposed to low temperatures of hundreds of degrees below zero, your body will not freeze immediately. Rather, it requires a process in which temperature is slowly conducted. Until all the heat inside the body disappears, the human body will be frozen. But the frozen man sprays mist. But it allows the human body to freeze in just a few seconds, and the effect is very magical. In Jason's view, this technology allows rapid temperature conduction. It is more important than freezing technology. Skynet, record this. It is worth noting that Frozen Man is suspected of possessing a highly efficient heat transfer agent. Other abilities are not great. To deal with low temperatures, a heating device can be installed inside the armor. Non-icing materials can be used on the surface of the armor. After thinking for a while, Jason added again. Surface materials should resist low temperature brittleness. Order Type 2 cryogenic alloy from Stark Industries. Touching his chin, Jason recorded again. Frozen Man's surface armor is suspected to have bulletproof capabilities. It still needs to be verified. The possibility of having other abilities cannot be ruled out. After some analysis, Jason suddenly felt. This Frozen Man is just a chicken. The reason why Bruce Wayne can't be beaten is because he is too good. Think about it. He also couldn't imagine what abilities Frozen Man had that could threaten him. So what if his freezing ability is stronger? As long as the armor's arc reactor energy is not exhausted, Frozen Man can't possibly pose any threat to him. Just keep having a fever. After thinking about it, Kunson shook his head. He also thought wrong. It's not that Bruce Wayne is too weak, but he is too strong. The steel armor is technology that can fight against cosmic giants like Thanos. Rockets from advanced civilizations in the universe all believe that this technology has certain merits. Use steel armor to deal with this kind of villain who can't get away in a city. It is indeed a bit bullying, Jason said with a smile. Skynet, trace the whereabouts of Frozen Man. Frozen Man appears in the economic zone for a reason. He showed up here to rob a bank, CFCA. Jason knew it after thinking about it. The life experiences of such scientists are similar. Taking money from other companies and researching for decades, nothing can be achieved. Then he was cut out of the laboratory. Then Blacken takes revenge on the world. Dr. Connors is like this, and this Frozen Man is probably similar. But such extreme people are not worthy of pity. This company is not a charity. Consider the benefit of the company. It would be nice to support your research for a while. If you can't produce results, you still want to use other people's funds. Where in the world can such good things happen? All he can say is that a villain is a villain. No matter how miserable the treatment is, it is not worthy of sympathy. Hulk Dr. Bruce Banner. The experience was also extremely miserable, not only because he was plotted against me. He was almost arrested by his father-in-law. But there is still no Blacken. Always feeling guilty about the things I did. Even incognito. Children in slums are treated for free. This is the difference. So Jason doesn't feel any guilt at all when dealing with this Frozen Man. Just as Jason was thinking, Skynet's voice rang. Find the traces of Frozen Man. At 43 Grandy Street. Jason's mouth twitched when he heard the address. It's true that the most dangerous place is the safest place. Hiding directly next to the police station. Less than a block away. How brave. Gotham City's police are also trash. We can't control petty thieves on the streets, we can't control robberies, let alone supervillains, we don't dare to control them at all. I don't know what the purpose of this organization is. Are you really just waiting to clean up the floor after everything is over? A rant about the Gotham City Police Department. Jason issued his own order. Well, send a message to the police station and ask them to evacuate the nearby people. I remember Commissioner Gordon had a very good relationship with our Wayne family. Let him help. Tell him there's biological contamination found nearby. Seize the time and let people organize an evacuation. Jason coughed and said, Gotham's police are very competent at doing this kind of thing. In this place where the upper class is extremely corrupt and the upper class people are all equipped with guns, it is not easy to do this. After the transformation of the armor is completed, we will send it out. Prepare my own armor, and I'll join in the fun. Jason said something. After building the atomic collider, he also upgraded the core of the armor, replaced with new elements developed by Tony Stark. Both output power and battery life have been greatly improved. Found an opportunity this time. Naturally, he wanted to test the combat effectiveness of the new generation of armor. Thinking about it, I am still a little excited. Chapter 59. Commissioner Gordon of Gotham City has an old friendship with the Wayne family. It's also wonderful to say, when Commissioner Gordon was an agent. The first case on the stall. It's the case where Bruce Wayne's parents were shot. The Wayne couple, who adhered to the principle of not taking bodyguards when going out, went out to watch a movie, and were all killed by a gangster. The young Bruce Wayne I met at that time was the first police officer I met. That's Director Gordon now. Gordon, who had just returned from the army, was still a very upright man. Soon he became friends with Bruce Wayne. However, compared to the upright and young Director Gordon at the time, Commissioner Gordon now, it is undoubtedly much more tactful. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to hang out in the muddy waters of Gotham for so many years. Little Jason, are there really biological weapons here? Director Gordon looked at Jason and said cautiously. Jason glanced at Commissioner Gordon. Whether there are biological and chemical weapons inside really depends on the situation. Just like when the bald eagle said that oil countries have biological and chemical weapons. It may not be there at first, but you have to search. Biochemical weapons can definitely be found. As for the biochemical weapon, was it already inside? Then Jason can't guarantee it. Of course Jason couldn't say that. He just told lies with his eyes open. Definitely. A business partner of our Wayne Group people told us the news. Director Gordon, I will not deceive you about this kind of thing. We'd better stay away and let professionals handle these things. Commissioner Gordon shouldn't have him. He nodded deeply, turned around and left. Not the slightest hesitation. After Commissioner Gordon left, Jason waved. A large truck drove over. 10 pieces of steel armor got off the train uniformly. The 8 pieces of armor are ordinary models, but they have been modified. There are 2 armors that look very special. The paint on the body is fiery red. The body even looks like a jar. In place of the arms are 2 flame spouts. This is a modified model specially modified by Jason to deal with Frozen Man. Jason didn't speak until everything was ready. Skynet, what's going on with Frozen Man? After Jason finished speaking, a video appeared in his helmet. What is playing is the scene inside Frozen Man's laboratory. I don't know if it's ignorance or arrogance. Entire blocks were evacuated. The Frozen Man inside seemed unaware. He kept saying something to a female corpse in the machine. Seeing this, Jason felt a chill in his heart. Sure enough, he is insane and cannot be understood. Jason muttered, Skynet, directly send fighter planes to blast it forcefully. Jason gave an order, and the 4 armors formed a tactical formation and surrounded him. The house where Frozen Man is located is nothing more than an ordinary residence, although modified by Frozen Man. But in front of the armor, these defenses are made of paper. 3 strikes, 5 divided by 2, several pieces of armor controlled by Skynet rushed in directly. It's just that I just took 2 steps. Jason saw a burst of white mist appear inside the camera. The 4 steel armors immediately froze in place. The body is covered with white frost. Several gunshots were heard inside the house. The 4 pieces of steel armor were shattered like glass handicrafts. It was directly broken into pieces. Jason's eyes narrowed when he saw this. Metal does show a certain degree of low temperature brittleness below the base temperature. But there is a limit to this. Metal is still metal no matter how brittle it is. There is no way it is as brittle as glass. Not to mention, Jason still uses low temperature alloys specially ordered from Stark Industries. It is said that it can maintain its properties at low temperatures of -200 degrees Celsius. But now it seems that this is nonsense. Even a piece of pig iron performs better than this low temperature alloy. Stark, you profiteer. He cursed Tony Stark bitterly. Skynet, Send out the fire bats directly. Seeing that something was wrong, Jason directly dispatched 2 special models of armor. These 2 modified armors with specially reinforced armor have much better cold resistance than ordinary armors. Under the control of Skynet, 2 pieces of orange-red armor walked up with heavy steps. The heavy armor stepped on the ground, making a thumping sound. 2 armors just walked in front of the door. A white mist spurted out from inside. The bodies of the 2 fire bats were immediately covered with frost. But the fire bat is not as fragile as ordinary armor. Please give me flowers. A red light flashed across his body. Action was quickly resumed. There was a buzzing sound all around. It was like a red-hot iron thrown into ice. The 2 arms were raised directly, and flames more than 20 meters long were sprayed directly from the 2 flame jets. Immediately mixed with the white mist. A white mist formed in the sky. It works. It seems that this low-temperature spray has not reached the level of freezing flames. The fire bat is not loaded with ordinary oil. It is a mixture of phospholipids and high-energy aviation chemical fuels. Can burn even underwater. No need for oxygen at all. Although this white mist has the ability to freeze instantly. But it's obviously not strong enough to crush this kind of gunpowder. 0. Increase the jet power and suppress these white mist. Jason ordered again. Also, we will send infrastructure-modified fire bats from the group. Jason frowned. Frozen Man is also a wizard. The developed freezing spray actually managed to compete with the 4 flamethrowers. It's really eye-catching. These are 4 flamethrowers, enough to burn down a forest. Watching the 2 sides remain at loggerheads, Jason shouted directly through the loudspeaker. Dr. Victor, how about we talk? There is absolutely no need for us to fight to the death. Besides, Dr. Victor, how long can you last? My supplies are unlimited. Jason shouted a few words, hoping that Victor inside would be shaken. Unfortunately, his strategy didn't work. Frozen Man remained silent in the house, just constantly fighting against the fire bats. The surrounding air is filled with mist formed by water vapor condensation. It makes this place look hazy and shadowy. Jason frowned when he saw the situation. We are preparing to send a few ordinary armors to support. But he hasn't done it yet. I heard 2 sharp whistles coming from the room. It sounded like the sound of an RPG in midair. Then there were 2 soft pops. The 2 fire bats immediately lost their connection. Jason frowned. The expression on his face became ugly. Chapter 60. Jason looked at the red panel in front of him. The expression on his face is very ugly. Unexpectedly, the fire bat specially modified for Frozen Man was directly destroyed. A sensor mounted inside the fire bat. The last message sent only showed that the temperature of the fire bat dropped sharply. For a moment, the 2 fire bats were immediately taken off the production line. Jason didn't even understand what Frozen Man did. Skynet, turn on the detection equipment and see what happened. Let the ordinary armor go up and activate the overload mode. Jason issued the order. He directly put on the armor and hid behind the heavy truck. He is not ready to appear in front of Frozen Man until the situation is unclear. Who knows what methods this guy used? Even the fire bats can't stop it. The armor on his body was even more unstoppable. Skynet, a direct and indiscriminate saturation attack. 003. Don't talk to him anymore. Jason saw that the situation was not good and gave the order directly. Originally he wanted to talk to Frozen Man. It seems completely unnecessary now. It's safer to kill it directly. Jason ordered. The remaining 4 pieces of steel armor raised their hands and started shooting. Blue energy cannons shot into the fog like raindrops. The entire neighborhood suddenly heard the sound of an explosion. Director Gordon, who was listening a block away, felt his heart palpitate. Thinking in his heart, it's a good thing that he didn't go in, otherwise he would be delivering food. Stay far away and keep a safe distance. He scolded the members of the police station. Director Gordon retreated several dozen meters again. The other side. Jason's saturation attack has almost come to an end. Several nearby residential buildings were directly flattened, and the ground was full of building debris. At this time, another giant transport truck also arrived. The inside of the carriage is like dumplings. Dozens of pieces of armor jumped out from inside. Saw these armors arriving. Jason's confidence suddenly became stronger. Skynet, blow away these fogs. The mist and dust greatly restricted his field of vision. Neither the infrared camera nor the temperature difference camera can detect anything. Jason had no choice but to expel the fog. With the work of several pieces of armor, the fog that obscured his vision quickly disappeared. The scene inside is revealed. It looks very old inside, and the buildings that were built more than 30 years ago have long since disappeared. Instead, a semicircular shield was buckled to the ground. The shield looks like it's made of ice. There is still a white cold air emanating from it. It was this thing that blocked the attack of the armor just now. Jason frowned. He fired the ionizing weapon cannon directly. This ionization cannon really made a difference. There is a file-sized dent on the bowl edge on the ice shield. But it was quickly repaired, and it looked as if the shield was alive. Skynet, destroy it directly. Jason waved his hand calmly. This thing just looks amazing. Just a turtle shell. As long as the attack power is strong enough, it's easy to fight. Jason gave an order, and rocket nests appeared directly on the shoulders of dozens of armors. Nearly 100 javelin armor-piercing rounds were fired directly. This weapon is capable of penetrating the frontal armor of tanks. Compared with ionization cannon, it has stronger penetrating power. The armor-piercing projectile was launched and directly penetrated the ice shield. If there is, it is stuck halfway. A few milliseconds later, all javelin armor-piercing shells exploded directly. There were nearly 100 fireworks in front of Jason. A mushroom cloud rose directly from the ground. The scene was extremely spectacular. After the smoke cleared, a figure appeared in the smoke that had almost disappeared. None other than Frozen Man. However, Frozen Man is not in very good condition at the moment. The armor on his body was badly damaged, revealing his pale skin. There was also constant white air conditioning emanating from inside. Next to him is a silver white ice coffin with a corpse inside. Cough cough, cough cough. Why did you do that? Frozen Man turned his head to Jason. The mask on his face was half broken. The exposed half was also covered in blood and looked very ferocious. Even though Frozen Man has reached this point, Jason still hasn't let down his guard. It has no meaning at all from my past. The direct operator walked over in his own spare armor. Why, when you kill someone, shouldn't you think of what will happen to you? Because of your actions yesterday, more than 30 innocent civilians died on the entire street. After Jason finished speaking, he stopped and closed his mouth. Frozen Man's quick freezing spray is fatal to ordinary people. As long as they cannot be sent to the hospital in time, hypothermia will soon kill these people. If it weren't for the Batmobile, Bruce Wayne might not have survived. Now that Frozen Man said this, Jason found it ridiculous. Those who kill will always be killed. So that's it. Another pretentious superhero. I never thought I would die in the hands of someone like you. I'm obviously taking them to eternal art, why don't you understand? Jason curled his lips when he saw the somewhat nervous Frozen Man. Lifting it directly to the palm, blue energy gathered in the palm of the hand. I also sent you to the world of art, why don't you understand? Frozen Man looked at the blue light on the mecha in front of him. I choked all of a sudden. Ha 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 ha. After half a day, Frozen Man spoke. After letting out a very heart-wrenching laugh, Jason couldn't help but retreat a few hundred meters again. Why are you laughing? After feeling that he was safe, Jason controlled the armor and spoke. Why are you laughing? I'm laughing. Even if I die, I will be buried with a funny person like you. Ha ha ha. While laughing wildly, more and more white mist formed on Frozen Man's body. There was white mist constantly emanating from the gaps in his armor, 4.8 spreading to the surroundings. Ice crystals were visible to the naked eye in the air and fell to the ground. Jason's expression changed and he wanted to retreat. But found out. At some point, a layer of invisible ice had frozen his mecha to the ground. Even the thrusters underneath the armor couldn't be started. Frozen Man raised his head and glanced at Jason. Don't waste your efforts, you can't escape. Laughed crazily a few times. Frozen Man opened the ice coffin and hugged the dead body inside. Then the whole person suddenly exploded. A large white mist spread directly towards the surroundings. The ice visible to the naked eye begins to spread from here. Spread directly over a distance of several hundred meters. Everything within this range was quickly frozen. The transparent ice cubes surrounding everything look very beautiful. Jason only felt a chill. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.